Here we go with the 420 comic, Vegas's own, Jeffrey Peterson. Hi, Jeffrey.
Hey, how you doing, Linda? It's so great to be anywhere, No, I'm hanging out here in Las Vegas under self quarantine. I've changed my name though. I think since 420 has kind of been canceled this year, I'm going to be going by the non-essential comic. Non-essential comic, yeah. So I've learned a thing or two from this. I don't know. Am I allowed to use profanity on this medium?
Please do.
Well, I've discovered a lot through the social networks and my friends. I know a lot of dumb motherfuckers. A lot of just dummies. People that were my friends, I'm like, wow, you really don't get it. But I'm not going to get all political, and I'm not going to get all give my post-apocalyptic conspiracy theories because I have many. I'm a flat earther. And I'm gonna, now that all this stuff's going out, I'm gonna be much more vocal about the kind of person I am. But
cool.
I'm definitely somebody that doesn't think the way other people think, and I see things much differently. So, having said that, which I've never said publicly, I am a flat earther, and I wholeheartedly, intelligently believe things like that. So. Think of that as a domino effect. All the things that go with flat earthers, I believe those things too.
Wow. I'm so glad I got the exclusive on this.
You did. And I think it's going to change my comedy forever. I really think I'm going to be a little bit bolder in the things I say. If we come out of this the way I think we're going to come out of this, this will be an opportunity to really utilize my voice like I've never done before. But I can say this, being in this position right now where I've lost quite a few gigs and I'm stuck at home and kind of out of work, so to speak. And at the beginning, I got to admit, I found it kind of refreshing that all other comics were in the same boat as me for once.
Absolutely.
So, and the crazy thing is I'm over here hunkered down and got a limited amount of food, a limited amount of cannabis, and not seeing any people, just keeping to myself. And, then I hear about the coronavirus. What's going on with that?
Exactly. You might as well be Amish.
Yeah, because if there's anybody who's prepared for something like this, it's me, because I was... Not only was I raised a latchkey kid, I'm a loner. I mean, I don't go out very much. I stay home a lot anyways. And not that many people like me. So it's pretty easy for me to be self-quarantined, so to speak, And social distancing is going to be easy,
Well, speaking of losing gigs, we have a person on here named Natasha Ellis right now, and she's asking, what is this? So Natasha, just so you know, we're interviewing comics and finding how they're getting through, what they'd like to say to make people laugh and cope, and how the quarantine is going to affect their comedy. So, Natasha, here's Jeffrey Peterson. He's a major veteran in the comedy industry, and he's without many, many gigs. So I've posted on Facebook, I will have posted once this is over, the way that you can donate to him. And that's PayPal, the420comic at gmail.com, right, Jeffrey?
That is correct. Yeah, if you guys want to, help a guy in need right now, I'm definitely... living by the seat of my pants. As you could imagine, 420 being my middle name, the 420 comic, if you don't already know, it's the unofficial cannabis holiday for all of us worldwide cannabis users. I lost that gig. I had a lot of plans. I'm usually like the Easter bunny on Easter for 420. So the fact that I'm out of work, that'll let you know. But I got some tricks up my sleeve. I think something may happen online that may deliver some 420 cheer. So I got something in mind.
Oh, wow. Wouldn't it be cool?
I can do this in the interview.
Oh, yes. Let's do that. So people, fortunately, I'm old enough that I have 2 pensions coming in, and I'm not even taxed, and I'm going to get the stimulus so I can help people who are affected by the shutdown. I'm not affected really by it. The little money I make at comedy, yeah.
Well, it's refreshing also to know that you're feeling better, because you weren't feeling very well, and that was disconcerting there for a minute. But you look healthy and you seem healthy.
Thank you.
Now I got to worry about my stoner cough. Stoners, we're in a good position because by using cannabis, we use a natural expectorant. So mucus and phlegm and stuff like that, we expectorate that. But the only problem is, people get nervous if I cough in public, so I don't bring my bong to Walmart anymore. Stop doing that. I have got at least 25 minutes of new material from all this stuff, and it's just, I don't even know where to begin. I've got so much stuff. I don't know if you heard this. The president he's about to make an announcement because of the situation. He's going to, unfortunately, postpone the elections. He's postponing the elections to 2024. That's right, 2024. We'll get back to it. We'll get right back into it. We'll see what happens then. It'll be the longest running president in our history, right? They wanted, Teddy Roosevelt. They asked him to run for a 3rd time, and he's like, "No, that's okay. Let's give it to somebody else." That's a good guy. That's why they make teddy bears out of Theodore Roosevelt, and they don't make Trump bears.
I remember the good old days when Trump was a verb.
Yeah, no kidding.
Simpler.
Well, if you folks ever want to blow your mind, this is a little bit back to my flat earth stuff. If you ever want to blow your mind, there's a story you can look up that was written about 100 years ago. True story. The story isn't true. The story I'm telling you is true. But the book is a fictional book of the adventures of Baron Trump. And Baron Trump is a little boy that dreams of being president. And he goes to Russia and gets all kinds of tutelage there, and then comes back and becomes president. This is a story written nearly 100 years ago. Look it up, folks. It's about Baron Trump. So there's a lot of weird stuff going on in the world. I'm thinking about starting a rock band. I used to be a rock singer. Thinking about starting a rock band called The Ventilators. Everybody would love us. Everybody would want us. You know what I mean? What's crazy is all the programming has had to change. Concerts are canceled. Everything's canceled. But there is one concert left. That's right. It's the big one. It's going to be a pay-per-view live streaming thing that you can watch, but it will be live. Listen to this lineup: Pandemic, COVID-19, Panda Flu, and Bat Soup. That's right. This Saturday night at the emergency room. Yep.
My gosh, you belong on late night. You deliver that.
I know. Well, they steal enough of my jokes on late night, and that's a true story too. Talk about joke thieves. I've had everyone from Tommy Chong to Joe Rogan steal my jokes, but it's and tons of memes. I see dozens and dozens of my jokes that become memes. I had to stop making memes recently because every joke I wrote. So comedy legend Argus Hamilton created it into his joke. So I even had to tell him, dude, stop, enough. I made a comment on your page and you used that as a joke.
Wow.
So, but TV shows are getting crazy in the fall. They're going to have to totally, in order to work in this new world, there's new shows like, there's The Masked Everything. Every show will be masked from now on. That's right. Remember this old one? They're bringing it back. Love Apocalypse Style. Be good. And then there's one that's it's going to be real scary. A lot of social distancing in this one. Dancing with the SARS. Yep. And then the one I think is going to go over real good. So you think you can distance. Yeah, so I've been spending my time wisely, trying to, come up with some stuff that, to make light of this. We used to have slogans like God bless America here. Now we're changing that to sorry, we're closed. Yep. We used to, our symbols used to be stars and stripes forever. Now it's mask and gloves forever.
You can go
baseball, yeah, baseball used to be America's favorite pastime, right? Yeah, now it's looting. It's looting. No public service announcement to the people, the homeless people of Las Vegas. I want to put that out there because we have a homeless community, and I just want to say, homeless people, why be stuck in those stuffy old tunnels when there's a beautiful, brand new, state-of-the-art stadium just waiting for you? Let's put that Allegiant Stadium to use, right?
Yes.
Raider Nation style. So, I got a million of them. I've been sitting here. Nickelback, the band Nickelback wants to put on a concert. A lot of entertainers are putting on concerts and stuff on live streaming. Nickelback wants to put on a live streaming concert. Now, the neat thing about that is for every viewer, you get a nickel back. They pay you. Yeah, they pay you. They have to. No one likes them.
Truth in advertising.
In Los Angeles, they just made an ordinance yesterday, a city ordinance, really county-wide, that they want people to now wear masks in public, which is, I don't know if anybody remembers the 90s. There was a gang war in Los Angeles between the Bloods and the Crips gangs, each of which would wear red or blue bandanas over their face. They used to call those guys criminals. Now they call them citizens. What a wacky world, right?
Yes. Wacky.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So, you got to try to make the most of what's going on here. I'm trying to, think of in the apocalypse, how would I survive? I kind of always think that way because the apocalypse is my retirement plan, really. It's the only way I see us being even, everybody. You know what I mean? That's not your car, it's our car. Get out. And everyone's getting, hand sanitizer, right? Everyone's getting hand sanitizer. That's okay. I won't need hand sanitizer in the apocalypse. I'll just wipe my bloody hands off under my armpits and keep moving on. Right? And I've gotten, a lot of people, it's weird. The president even said this. Some people are getting suicidal. They're expecting suicides. Every time I get a little suicidal, I remind myself, I'm Swedish. No wonder. Joe Biden's out there. He still thinks he can be president. Joe Biden still thinks he can be president. And, recently he did a speech, and they said he came across as kind of an arrogant prick.
Yeah?
But you know what? In his defense, his mother always told him, Joe, just be yourself. President Trump, he recently misspoke, and he said, there's no shortage of toilet paper and essentials in the grocery store. What? That sounds crazy, right? Because we all know there is, right?
Right.
But in President Trump's defense, he's never been in a store before. He's only sent his servants to go get shit. So, it's a lot of crazy stuff going on. You might be immune to the COVID-19 and not know it. Especially if you live in Vegas. Right? If you live in Vegas, here's some telltale signs that, you can count on that you probably do not have the COVID-19. If you've ever used a porta potty at the Burning Man festival, you're immune. If you've ever swam in the pool at Circus, you're immune. If you've ever been to an orgy at the Green Door, like me, you're immune. If you've ever eaten the buffet at Excalibur, don't even worry about it. And finally, if you spent a night in one of the Vegas tunnels, you are immune for life. You know? So yeah, I mean, it's crazy. What's funny is that when the toilet paper thing first started, I went to the store and I saw people just hoarding toilet paper. It was crazy because here's a whole aisle with no toilet paper, and it was weird because the whole other aisle was napkins. Look, if I have to shit in the apocalypse, I'm using my shirt. I don't care what I need, you know? And, you know, speaking of this hoarding stuff, it's getting out of control. There was an old lady, I'm going to admit, I saw an old lady at the supermarket hoarding toilet paper, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, she a huge shopping cart, took it back to her car. So naturally, I followed her home. Yeah, that's my toilet paper, bitch. Oh my God. Disneyland is closed. I mean, you knew it got serious when they closed Disneyland. Yeah. Apparently, Sneezy had the COVID. Yep, and of course, Doc misdiagnosed it 6 times. It's terrible, you know. So, gosh, 2019, huh? Remember that? I wish I had a time machine. Take me back to 2019, yeah. Remember that? 2019 was awesome when the only thing we were afraid of were clowns.
A posse full of them.
It is a good opportunity, though. There is some good things that have come out of this situation. For example, this is really, I got to just say, my stalker really picked a bad time to fuck with me. Because guess what? You got the COVID now. I just, you know, if you die, right? You know?
You're a giver.
Yeah. You know what's weird? Is they say that COVID doesn't like the heat, right? Has anybody checked on Antarctica lately? Yeah, and they say that it doesn't like the heat. Fortunately, in Vegas, it's getting hotter every day, right? We can't wait for it to get hot now. When we get to 88, we'll be in the clear, just like Doc Brown. We'll be Back to the Future. You know, now that I'm hearing you laugh at this, these are really fucking good jokes. My God, why aren't I writing for late night? Because I'm way better than Seth Meyers' writers, that's for sure.
You are. You do this all by yourself, and he needs a whole room.
I do it with one hand. I would say one hand behind my back, but my other hand's holding a bong. So one hand with a bong in my hand.
Yeah.
You know, one thing that it's weird. I've been watching Seth Meyers and some of these late night talk show hosts. They're filming out of their homes, which is probably a bad idea because that's how I doomsday prep. Now I know what shit you got where. You know, so it's pretty weird, man. And
the volume went down.
The volume went down. Okay, can you hear me still?
I can hear you, not as good all of a sudden.
Wow, what happened? Maybe I turned it down by accident. I don't think I did.
I don't know. Maybe you can talk louder.
I can talk louder. You know what's weird is, cannabis has actually been very beneficial to a lot of people during this time, and I think it's actually proving to be the essential thing that it is. And but what's weird is while we weren't looking, the NFL made it legal for players to play while using marijuana. Unfortunately, there's no more NFL. Too late, guys. Thanks a lot. And what's crazy is, my favorite genre of cinema and really like pop culture is the post-apocalyptic era. I think post-apocalyptic cinema is like the new Western. I've become a huge fan. I even have a comic book called The Achievers, which is about set in the apocalypse 2033 LA. And I just got to say, people love apocalypse stuff until it's time to do apocalypse shit. Fortunately, I don't mind stepping on a few necks to get a can of beans. Look, I've been to the Burning Man Festival, and I've been to Wasteland Weekend. Wasteland Weekend is hopefully coming up in the fall. It's a Mad Max Renaissance Fair. I was thinking of going again this year, but now the Wasteland just came to me, so I don't have to worry about it. So.
This is like a late night monologue.
I know. Well, I got to use these jokes somewhere. They've just been sitting here. I've been just telling them to myself. So.
It's brilliant.
Well, thanks. I'm trying to be. This is my attempt to be optimistic because, truthfully, my viewpoints on this are extremely dark, and I would never bring everybody down with that. But yeah, it's going to be. I'm thinking of forming a new comedy club. It's a 2-person maximum, pardon me, and we'll just do the 6 feet apart from each other. 3 jokes at a time, and then let's get the next person, 2 people in there. Nothing over 10. Yeah, it's been hard to form an orgy in these days, right? Can't have 10 people, so I guess a threesome will have to do. But no, I've been pretty much alone in this thing, but that's okay. I've been, trying to reach out, do some apocalyptic dating, see if I can find that right girl that knows how to cook for 2, and out of a skull. I don't know if she can cook out of a skull, but it'd be helpful. I've realized if there's one thing I need in this world, it's a dog. Yeah. Because, if I'm going to hit that wasteland, I'm going to need, somebody to protect me while I'm sleeping. But, yeah. So how are you doing? You holding up in all this?
Well, it was getting pretty depressing, and that's why I thought, if I can get comics to talk, it will keep me positive.
Yeah.
So that's
good. That's a good, I really fought doing comedy, in this form. At first I was really kind of too wrapped up in it, I was and I don't really have and I kind of put myself together, especially recently. I saw a post. Now I have as my mother would have said, I have my druthers about what this is and what's going on. But one thing I don't have is the lack of compassion for the people who are having to deal with this situation for whatever it is in the hospitals.
Yes.
I've seen some doctors say some things, but I saw a doctor on Nikki Carr's page, our comedian friend Nikki Carr, who we love,
yes,
in New York City, our Vegas comedian friend.
Woo!
She posted something from a doctor in New York City, and the doctor, I'm not sure if it was a doctor or a healthcare worker, but she was in her car and she was exhausted from her shift, and she was like just explaining how tough it was and how tough it's been. And she said, comedians, we need you now more than ever. We need some laughs. So if you could please get out there and make us laugh, that would help.
Yes.
So that was really a call to arms to me. Like, this is what I do. This is what I'm called to do. So especially at times like this, we have to kind of pull ourselves together and do what we're supposed to do and be fun.
Yes.
And, I mimicked this. I just mentioned the Wasteland Weekend event, which is very cool. It's a Mad Max Renaissance Fair in California City, California. They've been doing it for 6 years now, I believe, 7 years. Well, for 2 years, I was the post-apocalyptic comic there.
Wow.
And I would go up on stage, and it was mixed reviewed. A lot of people were like, we don't want to hear jokes at the end of the world. And a lot of people were like, this is awesome. And by the way, I should get violation points for touching my own face. And you know what? I have to tell you, the radio stations, classic rock radio stations, gotten so bad they stopped playing Divinal's Touch Myself. Yeah. They don't want to encourage that kind of thing anymore. So,
No.
But I've played that role before as the post-apocalyptic comic dressed in the Mad Max look and out there to what we call wastelanders. So I don't think this is the apocalypse. I think it might be seeds of it in a way. But no, I think we're going to come out to a very changed world, but there will be an end to this sequestering. I like to look at it that the powers that be, daddy, so to speak, is putting baby in a corner. They've got a reason for putting us in a corner. I don't know, don't know exactly why. And I won't, like I said, I won't go into my viewpoints because there's been a lot of dissension, a lot of people getting angry with each other, and frankly, that's just what they want. So don't.
Exactly.
Don't. And I've even written to some of my friends, look, we may think differently on this, but we can't let it divide us, because that would be, you know what, Dr. Katz, who I think is Dr. Jonathan Katz, the comedian Jonathan Katz. Have you seen the TV show Dr. Katz?
No.
Do yourself a gigantic favor. I just opened up a brand new world for you in this pandemic.
Writing it down.
If you go to YouTube, you can watch 81 episodes of Dr. Katz from Comedy Central. It's an animated series that features a psychologist with famous comedians. And it's really what made me want to become a comedian, was seeing Dr. Katz on Comedy Central.
Wow.
So the thing about Dr. Katz is I don't know if he created this statement or this phrase, but he said it once and I've always loved it. He said, and this explains really what's going on with all of us, and nobody knows what's going on, like, clearly, unless you're, in the, military industrial complex or the medical world on a very, very high level. No one knows what's really going on. So what I like in this experience too is what Dr. Katz said. We're all blind men touching different parts of the same elephant.
Whoa. That's mind-blowing.
That's completely deep. And for everybody, it's a different experience. You might be touching the nose. For you, it's a wonderful experience. You're blind, but you feel something that reacts to you. It's beautiful. I might be touching the butthole. Not so pleasant. That's just what I'm touching. But we're all touching the same thing. And we're all experiencing the same thing, but from different viewpoints and different emotions. So
yes.
It's important to remember that. They love dissension, because what it means is we, this concept of keeping us 6 feet apart. Don't let it keep us from talking.
Yes.
Don't let it keep us from communicating, because they do that to hostages.
Exactly.
And I've discovered a couple things too about this sequestering. Not only would I have the capabilities to make a great astronaut, I would make a great hostage. I would. Just keep it to myself. I'm no trouble.
Can you create your own waterboarding?
My own waterboarding. I'm not sure if I understand that term completely. What is that?
So like in Vietnam and different places where they drip water to get you to talk. Like, you don't like to talk to people, so you would have to create your own waterboarding to talk.
Torture myself. I like it. Yeah. I put myself in, solitary every now and then. I go in the box. It's made of plastic, and there's pornography in there from the 80s, but still, it's the box.
You know what I thought about is poor Anne Frank. She didn't have social media. She had to write a book. Like,
Right.
we get to, like, whatever comes to our mind, we can throw it out on Facebook or Twitter, and she had to remember where she put her book and find it in the dark and grab
Well, imagine social distancing then. You know what I mean? Like those people are all, hey, come on, 6 feet, seriously.
That's why they called them concentration camps.
That's right. You got to pay attention.
And they were so
You know?
concentrated.
Yeah, yeah. So, well, I don't know when we're going to emerge from our homes, but a lot of people have been complaining about getting fat or being bored. I have never been bored a day in my life. Ever since I learned to masturbate, I've never been bored once. Not one day. You can always find something to do, right? But a lot of people are talking about, overeating and stuff like that. I've actually lost nearly 20 pounds.
Really?
Yeah, I should really go to the store because I don't have food.
Well,
No, I'm kidding. I'm stocked up, but no, I've been exercising like crazy. Been really enjoying, like I said. Sadly, even my friends know. They're like, dude, this isn't any different than the way you always live. I mean, what the fuck? Like everybody that knows me knows. Like, there's been days you didn't walk out of your apartment anyways. What do you mean?
but the
So
way
it's kind of true.
But the way, just for those listening, Jeffrey lost a lot of gigs. He's one of those comics that travels and headlines, and so this has affected him.
Yeah.
And so I'll be posting his PayPal, which is his email, the 420comic@gmail, if you want to help him out, because it doesn't affect much. But for Jeffrey, yeah, it hit him hard.
Hey. And, not for nothing, but if you live in the Vegas area, I'll take pot, too. You can give me some weed. It'll really help me out. But, the whole thing is we love entertaining. I love entertaining the tourists, I mean, I was, the day that the governor made the announcement that they're shutting all the casinos was one day before I was supposed to headline the Rampart Casino for Bonkers. So I was very excited about that. I love my Bonkers fans and my people over there. And so, we're going to regroup. I mean, I was scheduled to headline, be one of the headliners for Kushstock. That now has been postponed to July. So, I'm rolling with the punches, and this affects my millionaire friends much more than it affects me.
Yes.
So I'm hoping, people that have finances that could be, taken away from this. I hope you're looking out for yourself. It's weird. I used to think that I wanted to be rich and famous. I just want to be working.
Exactly.
I don't even really, fame is fleeting, and so is wealth. I mean, I used to be the personal assistant to John Getty,
What?
grandson of J. Paul Getty.
What? That's
Yeah,
crazy.
In my job, I used to work in the Hollywood Hills for this wonderful man who was a very intelligent, very a true Renaissance man, John Getty, the grandson of J. Paul Getty. My job was to load bongs. Mr. Getty Company, and but I learned a lot from working for him, and I watched. I was in a home that was worth millions. I mean, I would sit on a couch that was worth more than everything I owned. But those kind of things are not of the highest value to me. My mother was a celebrity nanny for Clint Eastwood for 9
What?
years, for Steven Seagal and Kelly LeBrock and Scott Bakula, and she traveled all over the world with Clint Eastwood, went to Paris and Rome and stuff like that, and unfortunately she died nearly penniless. So it's you learn after a while being in showbiz, those aren't the things that are necessarily important,
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and let you go. And thank you for opening up for Bobby Collins, who will be on at the next hour.
Will you please, I'm sure you will, but will you please make a point? He doesn't know who I am from Sam, but tell him, Jeffrey Peterson, the guy that was on before you, he loves your stuff.
I will tell him. I promise I'll tell him.
And kudos to you for doing this, Linda, and any great comedians out there, contact Linda, and I'm going to send some great comedians your way. And
yes.
And I'm sending you a virtual hug.
Thank you. Back at you.
And when this is over, I'm touching you, so I don't care.
Okay, I've been giving out kisses.
Yeah. I'm still jealous of Adam Dominguez. So.
Did you see I kissed Ron Jeremy?
Oh, be careful. Did you disinfect him? Did you get some, Ron Jeremy is hilarious. The most tired human being I've ever met in my life. We've worked together dozens of times. Dozens. I've opened for him many times. I've driven in a car with him for a half an hour. I've sat right next to him. Every single time he sees me, he's like, "Hi, nice to meet you. Hi, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Do you have cum on your brain?" I mean, seriously, Ron? I kid because I love.
He met me and he wanted to know where he knew me from.
You don't remember that orgy? You don't remember the orgy at the Green Door? In fact, I was at an orgy at the Green Door with Ron Jeremy. That is a fact.
Thank you, Jeffrey. You're amazing. Thank you, and best to you. I'll be donating money, and I hope some other people on here will too.
Well, thank you.
Sorry. Thank you so much.
You got it.